What's up, good people? What's up, good people? It's your boy, Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr., the Impact Builder. Welcome to the brand new suite. It's Mindset, Motivate, Move Monday. And as we do every Monday, I ask you, how was your weekend? Did you do something fun? I had a great weekend. Started off Friday, busy weekend, I should say, busy weekend. First and foremost, the Ravens won. That's four in a row. Yeah. Let's keep it rolling, fellas. Let's keep it rolling. They didn't play well yesterday, but they played well enough to win. I'll say that they played well enough, and that tush push fake and Andrews rolling around to the right, that was probably the best call I've seen all year long from the Ravens. It was a perfect call, perfect execution, and I was in here jumping around and everything else because that was a great call. It was a great call. So way to go, Ravens! Way to win. We're now 500, 5-5. So let's keep the momentum going for the remainder of the season, and let's do this thing. Let's get into the playoffs, and then we'll go from there. So that was part of the weekend. But Friday and Saturday had a great weekend. Just really quickly, Friday, I went to a listening session for uh, the Maryland Christian Chamber of Commerce. If you are not familiar with this or you haven't heard of it, this is something that you should look into. You can put in Maryland Christian Chamber of Commerce, and it is going to be launching in March of 2026. But there was a listening session right here in Baltimore. For those that may not be familiar, the Maryland Christian Chamber will have different spots in Maryland, different chambers in Maryland that it'll be a part of. Baltimore will be one of those spots, hopefully, that this Christian Chamber will be a part of. So check that out. I'll put that link in the description, in the comments section there, so that you can check that out. We had a phenomenal time on a panel talking about how the Maryland Christian Chamber can fuse the interaction or the intersection of uh, of Christian-based businesses and the marketplace, and how we can do that right here in the state of Maryland, and specifically here in Baltimore. So it was a great opportunity. I met a lot of great, phenomenal people. Had a great panel discussion. Had great breakout sessions. Just a great event. Dr. Nicole Davis is absolutely phenomenal, who is the creator, president of the Maryland Christian Chamber, and I love what she's doing. I love the just the movement that is being created by it. I think it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. So check that out. Um, and then Saturday, I was a part of the becoming a young CEO. Let me tell you, Miss Tiffany Harvey has something special, and I love that she is pouring back into the next generation of CEOs, entrepreneurs, leaders, and organizations. This was an event that was totally run by young CEOs between the ages of 8 and 18, or I think 7 and 18. I believe it was the age category. But there were some great young entrepreneurs that I got to kind of interact with and talk about, because they were the vendors. This was an event that had all of the vendors were young CEOs, and I think it was absolutely phenomenal. They had a um, a pitch competition, a writer's pitch competition, that I thought was absolutely phenomenal. The young lady that won, Noah Shaw, she is absolutely phenomenal. A 12-year-old. She is already an author. She has a book that's going to be coming out soon. She's a poet, and she wants to, I think, eventually turn her book into a movie, which I think is absolutely phenomenal too, because it had that kind of ring to it too. So on the panel, with that, one of the judges on that panel, to be able to listen to her, just absolutely phenomenal. The next generation of leaders and entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs, CEOs, I think is absolutely phenomenal. And it is our responsibility, the now generation, the next generation, to pour into them so that that they become who it is that they can become in life and in their journey. So that was my weekend. I had a great time, like I said, that Friday, Saturday, and then of course yesterday, enjoying the Ravens win. It gave me a heart attack, but they pulled it out. So that was my weekend. How was your weekend? Tell me about it in the comments section there. How was your weekend? What did you do that was fun? What did you do that was fun this weekend? So this week, y'all know we're on to week 3. This is week 3 of week 8 of 8 weeks that we have for lessons learned in 2025. This week, we're going to be talking about the topic that I thought was just this is one that I'm going to be creating a book out of this one. So I'm just telling y'all now, but it's coming in 2026. But the title or topic that we talked about was think big, act boldly. Think big, act boldly. And this is lessons learned in 2025. We're going to be talking about the courage to think. We're going to talk about themes, we're talking about 5 keys to thinking big and act boldly in 2025 and what we gain from that. We're going to be talking about key number 1, the courage to think beyond your limits. Key 2, bold actions require clear intention. Key 4, your network grows when your vision grows. Key 4, boldness demands risk, resilience, and rebound power. How about that? And then key number 5, make your vision visible and make some, I'm gonna say some of your moves public. You don't want to be doing everything in public. Can't tell everybody all your moves or show everybody all your moves as an entrepreneur, as a CEO, as a leader, and as an organization. You don't want everybody to know. What's up, D? Morning, bro. That game ball gave me a heart attack last night, bro. That one call I think took away all of that with Andrews rolling to the right. About key number 1. Let's talk about number 1, which is the courage to think beyond your limits. I'm gonna give you these 3 things, and then I'm done for today. I want you to the courage to think beyond your limits. What does that mean? It means big thinking requires breaking mental ceilings created by fear, comfort, and tradition. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, if you're going to be a leader, if you're going to be an organization that stands out, you can't think like everybody else. We talk about that every Thursday. What? Think different, right? So when you think big, you have to think beyond what the ceiling may tell you. You got to take the limit. You got to take the limits off. You have to be limitless in your thinking. Number 2, expansion only happens the moment you embrace the possibilities, not the problems. We can't spend our time only focusing on the problem. If my issue with social media, my issue with people in general is people only go to the negative. They never want to talk about solutions. They never want to talk about the positive things that are going on. And until we as a society move from that mindset and that framework of thinking, we'll always wind up where we are. If you watch any type of social media, and that's intentional, and I think it's the wrong approach. We should be talking about positive things. Like one, real quick this morning as I was doing my walk, I'm listening to one of the on TikTok, and I'm listening to one of the panels that are on there, and all they were talking about were this negativity about um, uh, relationships, specifically black men and black women in a relationship, marriage, and how you got some folks talking about, well, black men only marry white women. Like, no, most ethnic groups marry within their ethnic groups. Black people are the same. We marry within our within our group 8 out of 10 times. So why are you focusing on the 2 versus the 8 that are thinking that way? We've got to take the limits off of our thinking and expand our thinking. And when that happens, the moment you embrace the possibilities instead of the problems. Let's not, I mean, the problems are there, and you have to address the problems, but you should be focusing more on the possibilities and the solutions versus the problem. So if you're going to think big and act boldly, that's where we've got to be, and that's what we're going to think about all of this week. And then the last thing is, leaders who think bigger shift from what can I do to what is possible through you or through me. And my mindset is what is possible through me. What is it that I need to do, that I can do in order to be able to move, think bigger, and expand what it is that I'm trying to do, or expand what it is that I'm trying to get my clients to do. That's what Think Big, Act Boldly is all about. So this week, that I need you to think big and act boldly. Here's the homework. Here's your homework for today. As you go get started in your day, I want you to think about what you need to think big about. And then I want you to think about, how are you going to act boldly to bring that to reality. Think about your vision. What's your vision? What's your purpose? What's your purpose? What's your identity? And then how do you think big and act boldly about bringing it to reality? Because here in the Brand You Suite, it's about bringing visions to reality. If you follow us anywhere, if you follow me anywhere, you know my tagline for J&F Enterprises LLC is bringing vision to reality. And that's what we do here. Thinking big and acting boldly is about bringing your vision to reality and not having limitations on what that vision is. So that's what I got for you today. If you want to go into greater detail, y'all know the calendar will be in the description for you to be able to schedule your strategy session where we can talk about your vision and how we can bring it to reality. I don't think small. I tell any potential clients, I tell any of my clients, I don't think small. We're thinking bigger. They say if your goal, if your vision doesn't scare you, it's not big enough. I'm going to say that to you. If your vision does not scare you, it's not big enough. You should be thinking big enough to the point where you're like, oh my God, how am I going to make this happen? Because every extraordinary person, every extraordinary person had a big vision. And the way that they the way that they thought was bigger than they actually could think. So I need you to think beyond what you're thinking and think bigger. That's what I got for you today. It's your boy, the Impact Builder. It's Mindset, Motivate, Move Monday. You ready to go? Let's get it. Peace.